respect that this team deserves?
Well, I bet you got it now. You go on social media. You know, we're one of the best teams in the league. I feel like, you know, that's number one. And number two, I feel like, you know, we're showing, you know, how deep our roster is. You know, no matter, you know, what's thrown at us, you know, we bounce back from it and, you know, come out and, you know, win games. We got to keep it rolling, continue to play together, continue to battle.
All right, well, it seems like they have a whole lot of fuel left for the rest of the season. And gosh, talk about respect. Stephen A. tweeting this last night. My apologies to the Memphis Grizzlies. I have slept on these brothers. I know Ja Morant is special, but I love their size, athleticism, depth, and perimeter shooting. This team is a legitimate threat in the West. They have my attention. Magic Johnson also given some props on Twitter. He said Ja Morant is must-see TV and has taken over as the most exciting player in the league, averaging 24 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Wow, those are some pretty big endorsements. And last week, Perk said that Ja's ceiling is Michael Jordan high. That is extremely high. So, Monica, do you agree? What do you think is a ceiling?
You know, Charlie, even last week, I pushed back on the MJ ceiling just a bit because I think the nature of MJ's career, he literally blocked people from getting championships. And I'm just not sure that in this era of basketball, Ja will have such a stranglehold on the game. But Ja, to me, and I had said Steph Curry last week in that I think Ja has the ability and will win championships in this league. But I think when you think of point guards with similar athleticism, a guy like Russell Westbrook, comes to mind. And you think of him, of course, breaking the triple-double record and the energy and fervor at which he plays. I think when you look at Russ's game, the assist part, I think we hear triple-double, but I don't know that people grasp the way that he has been able to make people around him better. I do think Ja has better handles, and I know that Swagoo has a great comp, but I'm going to go with the Russell Westbrook comparison in terms of the energy that he plays with day in and day out.
Yeah, man. I could understand why, the explosive nature, especially us watching Russell Westbrook throughout his career, but I get big AI energy. I get big Allen Iverson energy from Ja Morant, man. And it's almost like that the little guy that's doing things that's defying what we think little guys should be able to do in this league. And we all know how we hold AI to the standard and changing the game, not only in basketball, but culturally as well. And I just get a lot of those vibes. One of my favorite rappers, Moneybagg Yo, made a song about Ja, Rookie of the Year. And once you start getting songs written about you, it's different. You're becoming iconic. You becoming cultural. You starting to get a city and a state to kind of organize behind you and lead the way. Like AI played in Philly, and we all know how much Philly loves their sports team. But you got to deliver. There's a responsibility with coming with the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you go after people. And the thing that I respect about his game, and I hate using the term cut from the old school or cut from a different cloth, but Ja is, man. Ja want to cut your head every time he plays. It don't matter if it's LeBron, he going to give you a 40-piece. It don't matter if it's Brooklyn, he going to give you a 40-piece. He is going at your star. He will not allow, right now, when you watch the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja is on the floor, he will not allow the so-called superstar that's coming in the building to be better than Ja Morant. And that is AI energy. If we think back, look, I followed AI. You know AI as well as anybody, but I followed AI when he was at Georgetown. And when he would get into the middle of the lane, you just could not believe he was finna yoke on a 7-footer. You did not think that he had that type of mentality. We talked about physicality of the game with the Warriors and the Bulls. Ja never shies away from going to the rack against anybody. I just get that type of energy from him, and I not only get it in basketball, man, I get it culturally because remember, it took us a while to really understand what AI was doing in the NBA because we were so used to 6'6", we were so used to the tall man's game and being able to control and actually be the one option on a basketball team. AI changed all of that. Ja done took down the Warriors. Ja done took down all of the top teams, all of the teams that we consider the best. And his team right now is sitting in the Western Conference and finally starting to get looked at as who they are as a team. But it's Ja. His energy is big and it's very AI-like when I watch him play basketball.
And Monica,
You know, Swagoo, I love. What's up?
Monica, you compare him to Russell
Charlie.
Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook up to this point hasn't won a championship. Ja Morant, the way things are going right now, it looks like a title could certainly be in his future. Do you agree with that?
I do, Charlie, and I'm glad that you said that because that's exactly what I was going to say to Swagoo. But I think when you look at AI's career, that piece is missing too. And so this is a huge compliment to who Ja Morant is, that we are parsing apart the games of a guy that holds the triple-double record, of a guy that was a cultural icon. I mean, if you want to throw in handles, I mean, you could throw in some of Kyrie, which I know Chauncey Billups had really powerful statements to say. And so what we're seeing in Ja, quite honestly, I don't know that we have seen packaged this way. There are certainly pieces of his game that give you AI energy, Russell Westbrook energy. Name your guy that is explosive and a heady point guard and a tremendous leader. But I think what is going to be the most unique about what Ja did, and Big Perk said this, Swagoo, and I agree with it, I do think that he will be the next small market guy to bring a championship to his city because in this era of NBA, guys are looking around. You got a piece or two. I don't know what's going to happen with the Celtics, but hypothetically, if I'm Jaylen Brown and I know something's amiss up there,
100%.
Ja is a guy that people are going to want to play
100%.
with. And so I'm not saying that is the trade, but what is happening in Memphis? Literally, like last night you're watching that game and you're thinking, oh, these young fellas fitting to run the Warriors out the gym. Like, and not disrespectful to the Warriors, but there is such a tremendous energy and youth and identity with this Memphis Grizzly group, and Ja Morant is the head of that snake, for sure.
Man, I got to be honest with you, and a lot of it is basketball, right? I think Ja, I'm about to deaf to my mentions, but Ja is more skilled than Russell Westbrook. That's probably why I don't put him, as far as explosive, I put him in that category. But skill-wise, and one thing we didn't give AI a lot of credit for because we got so enamored with the crossover against Jordan, we got so enamored with his toughness, we didn't give him a lot of credit for his unbelievable athletic ability and his skill, like his skill as a basketball player. We didn't talk about that because AI was so polarizing, and it's hard to be as polarizing as AI now because of social media. Everybody got a draw and attention. You got different markets and all of that. But I'm telling you,
he did it already.
But I'm telling you, when I watch Ja, man, it's an excitement about watching him play the game that I haven't got from a lot of guys recently. Like Giannis is very exciting to watch, but it's limited skill-wise. You legit don't know what Ja gonna do. You legit have no idea.
On either side.
Once he leaves the floor, blessings to Ja. Listen, I'm just glad we have a young face that could potentially become the face of the NBA. We got a young face in Ja Morant.
I love it.
That could potentially become that guy.
And you know what, Monica, like you said,
it.
it really might be quite an incredible thing, the fact that he is with a small market team. I mean, these small market teams now being on the level where they can demand that respect. I mean, even you look at the game last night, I was reading in an ESPN article how Ja clapped back. It was in jest, of course, but he clapped back at a little kid who was wearing a Warriors jersey because he's like, we're Memphis. Why are you wearing that jersey here? You're in our building. What are you doing? So I like that.
Charlie Munn, I ain't gonna lie though. Like, and Memphis, don't get mad at me, but could y'all imagine if this was happening in Madison Square Garden? Could y'all imagine what it would be like if he was doing this in New York? Oh my God! Now Memphis, you got your one, and I hope Ja stay there because Ja seems to love the place and the culture, and the Memphis has embraced him. But I just couldn't imagine what it would be like if he was in New York.
But you know what, Swagoo? To that note, Swagoo, this to me, anything you read about Ja and his South Carolina roots, even Murray State, like I actually think in many ways it is perfect that he is in Memphis. You talk about totality of the brand. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's certainly fun to watch, and I'm sure we can expect a whole lot more from him.
I ain't trying to get rid of Ja, Memphis. Don't come at me. I ain't trying to get him out of there.
Yeah, right. You probably will have some people in your Twitter mentions coming up, Marcus. Okay, you two, let's keep it moving because still to come, Bill Belichick is synonymous